You're watching eNews Direct. I'm Duduzile Ramela. Here are the stories we're tracking for you this evening. The NUM says the politically connected Gupta family is being awarded a major Eskom contract. The killers of Mozambican Emmanuel Sithole get harsh prison sentences. And of course, you can have a say on any of our stories. Do find us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct, using the hashtags Gupta and Emmanuel Sithole. And it's the Guptas that lead tonight. The National Union of Mineworkers claims Eskom has done a dodgy deal with the politically connected Gupta family. It says a company owned by the Guptas has been given a contract to supply coal to an Eskom power station. Eskom claims the previous contractor, Exxaro Coal, failed to meet targets. However, the union believes the contract was cancelled to favour the Guptas.
Another coal delivery to Eskom's Arnott power station. Carried on trucks the NUM claims are owned by the Guptas.
Time has now come then to make sure that now we are not going back then to the apartheid then by being colonized then in our country by the people that are the foreigners, which are the Guptas that are not from South Africa, because now they have managed then to have then the influence of the top officials in the African National Congress.
The NUM says Optimum Coal, the mining company now owned by the influential Gupta family, is being given an unfair advantage over other bidders. The union says it's doing a test run to prove its capabilities. And that's because its owners have friends in high places. In January, President Jacob Zuma admitted that his son is in business with the Guptas.
He worked there for some time and left and started business. And on his own came to discuss with them, to be partner with them in some companies. Now, precisely because he's Zuma, and then Zuma is corrupt. Why? His son is there. Now, I don't understand really.
Eskom won't disclose who the bidders are, reserving its right to award the contract as it sees fit.
Any one of them who wins the bid, obviously they have to meet our requirements that we have set up aside, and if they do meet all of those, then we would have absolutely no problems with them.
The Gupta family has not commented. Olimgambi in Johannesburg.
Justice today for Mozambican Emmanuel Sithole, whose murder was splashed across front pages last year. His killers, Mtinda Bengu and Sfundo Mzimela, have been sentenced to 17 and 10 years respectively. Sithole was stabbed to death in Alexandra, Johannesburg last April during a wave of xenophobic violence. Sunday Times photographer James Otway captured the moment on camera, sparking public outcry. The magistrate described Sithole's murder as senseless and brutal. The third accused is a minor convicted of assault and robbery. He's been released under correctional supervision. Durban commuters were left fuming this morning as traffic was gridlocked. Striking municipal bus drivers parked their buses on the main roads into the city and then just walked away. The abandoned buses caused major traffic jams.
Durban's bus service has long been a contentious issue. And on Monday morning, drivers went on strike again. Buses were abandoned on main roads near the Umlazi and Kwamashu townships. Drivers were protesting against the late payment of their salaries. And commuters were caught in the middle.
The taxis are too expensive. Durban Transport, they must look for us. This is very unfair to us as the passengers. We're paying for the buses, but now we're struggling to go to work.
I ended up coming back home because I didn't have a way to make it to work.
I was supposed to go to town, I never go to town. Then the kids, the transport taxis, they have to bring them back because there's no way to go through the schools.
Last month, drivers blocked one of the entrances to the city after not being paid for December. Those salaries were only paid in January. Durban Transport buses are owned by the municipality and operated by Transnet, a company that's on the brink of liquidation. In a joint statement, the parties say an agreement had been reached on Friday to ensure salaries would be paid by Monday, but drivers went on strike before the payments were processed. Bus services are expected to resume on Tuesday. Desan Tathia, Durban.
The SAPS doesn't seem bothered that its new Mpumalanga Police Commissioner has a criminal record. Acting National Police Commissioner Khomotso Phahlane has given Mondli Zuma his full support. It's not the first time Zuma has held a senior role in the police. He headed up the SAPS investigation into the non-security upgrades at the President's Nkandla home. And back in 2013, he was appointed Gauteng Police Commissioner. But he only lasted a few hours in that job before it emerged he was facing criminal charges, including drunk driving, escaping from custody and defeating the ends of justice. However, Acting Commissioner Phahlane says all that is behind Zuma.
He went to court, the case was put before him, witnesses were called, and at the end of that trial, the presiding officers have pronounced, and you'll know that General Zuma was not found guilty of any of those charges.
How do we get rid of racism and discrimination in South Africa? And whose job is it? Big questions that were tackled today at a summit in Johannesburg. The National Convention hopes to address racism, sexism, and other social ills plaguing the nation.
From civil society groups to business, students and faith communities, they came together under one roof to discuss nation building and eradicating racism. But whose role is it to change locals' attitudes to one another?
Matters of attitude, of behavior, of relationships cannot be managed by government. Only the family, the church, the schools that can do it. The government is for making policies.
Following the recent upsurge in derogatory comments on social media, government considers racism a serious threat to nation building.
We need to move beyond the constitution and deal with this practice so that you deter the would-be racists from embarking on a copycat kind of an action and so on. So anything possible which is going to deter will be done, including criminalizing racism, criminalizing hate speech and so on.
It's widely agreed that massive socio-economic inequality is at the root of discord among South Africans. But open and honest communication at civil society level could go some way in changing negative attitudes and perceptions. Narissa Subramani, Johannesburg.
A quick look at world news now, and an attack over the weekend on a community in northeastern Nigeria has left at least 65 people dead. Survivors say Boko Haram militants opened fire on residents, set fire to homes and targeted a crowd with suicide bombers. It's the third such attack in a week by the insurgent group. Myanmar is holding its first session in parliament to end military-only rule. One of its first jobs is to elect a new president. The assembly is dominated by Aung San Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy. However, a quarter of the seats are reserved for the military, which still controls key ministries. Let's see what's hot on social media now. And Gareth, what's been people's reaction to the sentencing of Emmanuel Sithole's killers?
Yeah, it's been a couple of months, and I think a lot of people have been waiting for this. The killers of the Mozambican National Emmanuel Sithole certainly dominating social media conversation today. They've been sentenced to 17 and 10 years respectively, I beg your pardon. This is the photo from inside court today. But of course, we asked your reaction on social media. The question we asked is, either it is not harsh enough or justice was served. 75% of you saying the sentences were not harsh enough. Now, as we take you back to our second trending topic today, the media was briefed on the readiness for the State of the Nation address for 2016. Now, remember the situation with signal jamming when that device was found, that photo of the journalists last year protesting to that. The Secretary to Parliament assuring the public today that no such device will ever be used like that again. Now, plenty more of these stories you can find on both Twitter and Facebook. All you have to do is go and look for eNews Direct or go to our website as well. It is eNews@enca.com/direct. Just after 8 o'clock tonight, you can find the entire repeat of eNews Direct. And after months of speculation, Sandile, Pep Guardiola, another man, big talking point on social media today for the EPL.
Welcome back. Money Matters now. And new research by the Northwest University suggests the economy is suffering because government policies aren't clear. The institution's Policy Uncertainty Index rates South Africa at 55.4. Any reading above 50 indicates uncertainty.
The events of the end of 2015 have taken their toll on the economy.
We've had the saga of the Ministers of Finance, we've had the fall in the rand, and the threats that we're going to be reduced to junk status by the credit rating agencies. This is not good news.
And the result, according to the newly launched Policy Uncertainty Index, is that businesses are hoarding their cash reserves, hesitant to invest, while consumers are reluctant to spend.
This is a symptom of uncertainty, of the policy uncertainty. Is it better to invest or sit on your cash and wait for the path ahead to be clearer and more certain?
Some of the legislation currently before Parliament could be compounding the problem.
These range from the expropriation bill to a number of others, and certainly if they do come through, they move away substantially from free market operation. In turn, will have a very negative impact on business confidence.
The report indicates the relationship between government and the private sector needs strengthening. The report also suggests that government use the upcoming State of the Nation address and budget speech to reduce policy uncertainty and boost investor confidence. Lamdingi, Johannesburg.
And with that, let's see how the markets performed today. Right, let's check in with the Weather Center now. Here's Joel Guy.
Welcome back to the Weather Center. Here's a summary of how things are going to look like for your Tuesday across South Africa. It's going to be mostly cloudy with up to a 40% chance of rain over the southern parts of the Western and Eastern Cape provinces. Isolated to scattered thunder showers will persist over the western and central interior, pushing eastwards into Gauteng, Western Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal. And we're going to be seeing the beginnings of heat wave conditions for the northern parts of Gauteng and the Limpopo Bushveld areas. Now let's take it closer to your part of South Africa. We start with KwaZulu-Natal, where it's going to be mostly sunny and sizzling hot for most areas. Ulundi shooting to 40. Thunder showers are possible for Ladysmith and Newcastle with highs in the mid-30s. It's going to be unsettled across much of the Eastern Cape. Sizzling hot as well for much of the interior, Queenstown and Mthatha, warming to around 38 degrees. We are also going to see thunder showers for the eastern parts of the Western Cape. Light rain along the south coast. Cape Town gets away with partly cloudy skies and a high of around 27 degrees. Sizzling hot temperatures are forecast across much of the Northern Cape. Uppington shooting to 40, and here thunder showers are going to persist for much of your Tuesday. We are also going to see isolated thunder showers for much of the Free State. Bloemfontein warms up to a hot 37, just a degree cooler as we go towards Welkom. The northwest could also see passing showers, particularly over the southern and southeastern areas. Mahikeng and Zeerust will be partly cloudy with highs around 35 degrees. Mostly sunny and hot weather is forecast for the bulk of Limpopo, but possible showers are expected between Modmole and Bela. 39 for the highs in Musina as well as Palabora. Skukuza is also going to shoot to around 39 degrees, 35 from Bombela. Thunder showers across the Mpumalanga Highveld, extending into much of Gauteng, where a hot 34 is forecast for the high in Pretoria. We stay with thunderstorms on Wednesday across much of South Africa. Temperatures shooting higher for Pretoria. Then on a Thursday, we are going to stay with the very unsettled weather for KwaZulu-Natal and parts of Mpumalanga.
Will U.S. comedian Bill Cosby succeed in getting his sexual assault case thrown out of court tomorrow? All that and more after this.
In the exact middle. In the exact middle. But then you see the sports on this side. Oh, ngapha, on the other side. Yeah. Huh. I'm all ears, but I know. I don't even have that story. Tando must fall again.
Yeah.
To daughter in Cabana launching a collection supporting families of same-sex couples. Let's take a look. Thanks. Sorry, do I? I didn't hear anything about Askis. 3, okay. Betting in moccasin. Betting in moccasin. Moccasin in my fires.
Actually, probably.
I mean,
floor shine.
Betting in floor shine.
You know?
Uputa rosa.
Ikavela.
Floor shine in my fires. What's going on with your team?
Entertainment news now from Bill Cosby asking for sexual assault charges against him to be dismissed.
To Dolce & Gabbana launching a collection supporting families of same-sex couples. Let's take a look.
Legal experts doubt that comedian Bill Cosby's sexual assault case will be dismissed in court. That's what the 78-year-old is calling for when he goes back to court tomorrow. His lawyers say the charges against him violate a decade-old non-prosecution deal between Cosby and his accuser. David Bowie has asked for his ashes to be scattered on the island of Bali. That's according to a directive in the late British rock star's will. Bowie asks that he be cremated and his remains be scattered in Bali in accordance with Buddhist rituals. And it seems Italian fashion design duo Domenico Dolce and Stefano Gabbana have U-turned on their views of what constitutes a traditional family. The pair, who are behind fashion house Dolce & Gabbana, have previously come under fire for not supporting same-sex couples starting a family. But they've now launched a collection inspired by diverse families. Avid Instagram user Gabbana posted several photos of the line to the social media site.
Here's a reminder of the day's top stories before we say goodbye. The NUM says the politically connected Gupta family is being awarded a major Eskom contract. The killers of Mozambican Emmanuel Sithole get stiff prison sentences. And that's a wrap from the eNews Direct team.
It is. We're back at the same time tomorrow. Up next, Rhythm City.
But do remember, you can have a say in any of our stories. Do email us enewsdirect@etv.co.za.
Or just chat to us on Twitter and Facebook, and our handle is @eNewsDirect.
Indeed. Until tomorrow night, have a fantastic evening. Bye-bye.